Hello, my name is Sam Shahi, and I'm one of the piano teachers at the Regent Park School of Music. What I thought we could do today in this little online class is talk about chords, and specifically chords on the piano, and see how they're built, and maybe try building a few. And at the end of the class, I will come back here and maybe talk to you about more sort of complicated ways we can make chords, and then ask you to go ahead and try to see if you can build a few yourself. We need to talk a little bit more on the piano and talk about some fundamental concepts before we can move on. So let's just hop over to the piano and see what's going on.
Okay, so here we are at the piano. Now, one of the first things we must understand when we're talking about chords or harmony is a very, very interesting and basic concept called intervals. So what is an interval? If you can look at the piano, the distance between any two notes, this could be the distance between these two notes or these two notes or these two notes that you can't even see my hands anymore, is what we call an interval. So an interval just means the distance between two notes. Now, the smallest possible interval you can find between two notes is what we call a semitone or a half step or a minor second. Okay, so for example, the distance between these two notes, right? There's no more notes between them, so that's the building block of that, right? Let me actually turn that up a little bit more. So that's called a minor second, but just for the sake of simplicity, we're going to call it a half step. So another example of a half step is the distance between these two notes, right? It's a very crunchy sound because those two notes are very close together, or the distance between these two notes, or the distance between these two notes. Once we add up these minor seconds or these half steps, we get bigger and bigger and bigger intervals. So if you go one more half step, one more semitone, you get what we call a whole tone, or a full step, or what we call also a major second. Now, we can keep going. We can go to a thirds, then fourths, and then fifths, and then sixths, and then sevenths, until we get to the octave, right? So that's the octave, which means we've actually traveled 12 semitones or 12 half steps until we've gotten to the same note with the same name. You can do the same thing going down as well. Okay, so far so good. Now the interval that's really important to us right now is the interval of the third and the fifth. So once you go past a semitone and a whole tone, the next interval you have is what we call a minor third. It's 3 steps, a minor third. For example, if we start from the note C, and then we go 3 semitones up, which is this way, we get 1, 2, and 3. We get the note E flat, which is a minor third away from C. So let's just figure out how we did that again. So we're going 3 steps up, or a minor third up from C. We go C, so that's 1 step is to this, 2 steps, 3 steps. There you go. Okay, so that's minor third from C to E flat. And from there, now we go a major third up. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 steps. Okay, so a minor third is 3 steps, and a major third is 4 steps. That's why they're just so close together. They're only 1 half step away from each other. So let's try that again. So C, we need a minor third, 2, 3, and a major third from there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there we have a minor chord. Or as we label it a C minor chord because it starts from the note C. Now, what if we reverse those two intervals? What if we went major third, and then a minor third? Well, then that would probably give us a major chord, right? So whatever interval you have at the bottom, whatever kind of third you have at the bottom determines what quality of the chord you have. So let's just try that. So from the same note C, now we're going to go a major third first, which is 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's 4. And then from here, now we're going to go a minor third, which is 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. There you go. There it is, your C major chord. So do you notice something here? You notice that both the C major and the C minor chord had 2 common notes. The first and the fifth note were actually the same. That's because the numbers that we're adding together, it's either 3 plus 4, right? Minor third plus major third. Or it's 4 plus 3, major third plus minor third. So the result of this is always 7, which is how many half steps a perfect fifth is. Okay? So now, let's see if we can build another chord from the note, from a little trickier note maybe, from the note B this time, okay? Okay, so let's try to build a major chord. So in order to build a major chord from the note B, we need to go up first 4 steps, or a major third, and then from that note 3 steps, or a minor third. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a D sharp. Now from this note we need to go 3 steps. 1, 2, and 3. There is our B major chord, nice and resonant. Now let's make a B minor chord from that note. Let's go 1, 2, 3. So that's a minor third first, and then from this note a major third, which is 4 semitones. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, as you can notice, or as you've heard before, major chords generally sound more brilliant, happier, sort of more fun, more open, as opposed to minor chords, which sound a little bit sadder and sort of more tragic and darker. So you can kind of go by ear and see which notes you have as well. Let's build one last one before we say goodbye today. Let's build one from a black note so we can kind of get used to that type of thing too. Let's build one from the note C sharp or D flat. Doesn't really matter how you spell it. Okay, so let's go minor first. So we need 3 and then 4 for minor, right? So 1, 2, 3, and now we need a 4. Sorry, everybody, my phone just ran out of battery a little bit. Okay, so we were going to build a minor and a major chord from the note C sharp. So, okay, so in order to build a minor chord, we need to go 3 and then 4, or a minor third and then a major third. So C sharp. Okay, so let's go 3 first. We're gonna make a minor chord. 1, 2, 3. So that's E, and then from there we're going to go 4, which is a major third. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there's your minor chord. And then if we were to make this, turn this into a major chord, all we have to do is to wiggle this middle note 1 semitone higher to just make it a major chord, to sort of reverse the intervals that we had, right? So now let's go back to the computer and talk a little bit more about the exercises you can do at home to sort of train yourself to find these chords better and easier and faster. Okay, see you on the other side.
Right. So now we understand what an interval is. The system between two different frequencies or 2 different notes on any instrument. And now we understand that the interval of a third and the fifth are really, really important intervals when it comes to Western classical music and a lot of other kinds of music. What I would encourage you to do right now is to go on your instrument, probably a piano or guitar or violin or cello, and see if you can find all these major and minor chords and build them and play them from all 12 notes, all the black and the white notes, and challenge yourself to make them from all the black and white notes, because we tend to get comfortable with our comfort zone and only stay within the white notes. Sometimes piano players are a little bit lazy. I'm one of you. So see if you can do that and play it. And it's very, very important that you play it and you get a feel for it, and your ears get used to how they sound. That would be a really, really important exercise for you to do. And maybe in our next session, we can talk about now how these chords relate to each other and how they are related to, let's say, scales, and how they're found and they're structured in the context of scales. So I would highly, highly encourage you to watch that middle part of the video a few times, pause it whenever you don't understand something, and go on the instrument and try to figure this out as slowly as you can. And you can even cross-reference some Google search or some website that you can find online. Happy playing, and I will see you soon.